The release of the 2005 Donald Trump tape that 94% of Utahns have seen or know about has upended the presidential race in the Beehive State, with Trump now effectively neck and neck with Hillary Clinton.
Both are sitting at a dismal 26%, according to a Y2 Analytics poll released overnight and first reported in the Deseret News.
Well, what was that we were just showing you? That was today's noon newscast for KSL television in Salt Lake City. Now, it's not every day we're going to show you the local news from Utah on this show. Why are we? Well, it takes us to our most important number of the day. Today, that number is 48 because it has been 48 years since a third-party candidate actually won a state in a presidential election, and yet, look at this, that poll they were talking about out there in Utah. This has got a lot of people talking today, not just in Utah, but all around the political world. Donald Trump is tied with just 26% of the vote. Look who's in third place, just 4 points behind. Evan McMullin. Who? Evan McMullin. He's a former congressional staffer, former CIA agent. He was recruited by some of the never Trump folks in the Republican Party to run a third-party campaign. Now, his strength is very particular to Utah. He went to school out in Utah. He is also a Mormon, and that has a lot to do with what's happening out in Utah. Take a look at this. First of all, more than 60% of the state is Mormon, and Donald Trump has had a serious, particular problem with Mormon voters. They are traditionally very Republican, very conservative. This was basically Donald Trump's worst state in the Republican. Remember, he lost it to Ted Cruz by more than 50 points. We have seen Donald Trump struggling with Mormon voters all years. There's all sorts of theories about why, but this is a huge factor in Utah. If Evan McMullin can climb up a few more points in Utah, he could win that state. Now, keep in mind, he is not really competitive anywhere else, but he is absolutely right now in striking distance in Utah. And if that happens, if he wins that state, you got to go all the way back to 1968, 48 years ago. It was George Wallace. He was the segregationist. This was just at the civil rights era. He won a bunch of deep South states, 5 of them in 1968. That was the last time a third-party candidate actually carried a state. Could happen in 2016. That's our most important number of the day. It is 48, and that brings us to the end of the hour. I'm Steve Kornacki here in New York.